And hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's installation of Why, What, Who Wednesday. It's a feature we host here at our Radiant Sources Facebook page, where every Wednesday we open it up for questions to be asked in the comments, and then the professors and I choose one to answer. This week's question: why can't I let go of why can't I let go of the pain of lifelong friends who intentionally left me out of the game? And then the questioner goes on to give a few examples of what have happened. And then it says, these two were like my sisters, and many do not care for them, but I did. In the end, I'm having a hard time getting their meanness out of my mind and heart. Well, let's see what the professors have. You know what? I'm just going to go right into channel and let's see what the professors have to say about it, okay? Give me a moment. And good day to you, dear friends. Dear friend who asked the question, you're experiencing something that many are experiencing across the planet right now. Um, uh, and in your case, you are so so sensitive, dear friend. You have a beautiful sensitivity in your whole beingness. It goes beyond your heart. It's in your whole beingness, the sensitivity that you have towards the being inclusive of others, accepting of others, loving them regardless, being able to cover over a multitude of sins, so to speak, and move through into forgiveness. These are all wonderful qualities that you have, and you basically lived your whole life really walking your talk, so to speak, when it comes to the being of love that you are. What we also find interesting for many of you, and you included, dear friend, in that many of you, anytime something happens, the first thing you do is you say, what did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? Or why do others not want to be around me? There must be something I need to look at. This all comes from your programming and your patterning of wanting to fix. Many of you who are very sensitive or empathic, you feel that your job is to fix. You do not like the disruption or the disharmony of emotions that are not about love. So anytime something is in sync, out of sync with that which you call love or any sort of joyful feeling, you want to go in and you want to fix it and bring everybody back to a place of joy. You also want to run in and fix it and bring everybody back into a place of unity. What we can say to you empaths, and you specifically, dear friend who asked the question, your job is no longer to fix. Your job is no longer to force or push or what have you, others to like you and want to be with you. Now, what we would like to do is bring you to a different perspective, look at a different perspective of this. Perhaps, did you ever wonder, perhaps these friends love you so much on a soul level, because these friends that you're speaking about wouldn't be ones that you would be called, that you would label self-aware or awakened to too much really of anything outside of their physical reality. But on a soul level, did you ever stop to think that this is a wonderful, great gift that you're being given? The gift of being set apart to allow for your journey without any interference. the gift that perhaps that they will be going through some struggles, and then we will address this in a little bit because the collective is in for, and it's not to say to put any of you into fear, but the collective of humanity in general is really running into, have moved into an opening where great upheaval is you think many of you couldn't wait for year 2020 to be over. It brought its own set of challenges for sure for all of you. However, we have always said right from the beginning that sit and be with 2020, because 2021 and 2022 would bring its own sets of collective challenges in the wake of the 2020 challenge that you faced with your COVID and that you're still facing here on the planet. But that's neither here nor there for right now. For you, dear friend, who asked the question, you have been given a great gift. You are not being punished. This is another thing many of you, you think you will go into your old subconscious programming, that you're being punished when a friendship doesn't work out, or a long-standing friendship leaves you, or any sort of relationship. It could be a relationship with a mate, job, anything like that. Whenever you lose a relationship with something, right away you think you're being punished, and or you did something wrong, or you did something wrong that you are now being punished for. This whole dear beings, do not go there with that anymore. Do not go there with it. That is such old programming that belongs to your religions that now are so outdated in so many ways in their teachings. And it also belongs to the old, outdated teachings of this thing you call the New Age. Always the self-reflection, always needing to see what's going on. But we would say to you, just take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. You are basically, what is happening is, and because we know you so personally, dear friend who asked the question, you all reached a fork in the road. And what happened was you chose to take a path less trodden. You chose to walk more of a personal growth, expansion path, where they chose to go into a path of doing more of the same. But here's an interesting thing, dear friend. At that crossroads, on a soul level, you all hugged and you celebrated. And you all wished each other a wonderful time on the roads that you were choosing. And then you all turned to each other and said, see you on the other side, or see you down the road. So you have worked very hard, dear friend, for your this thing you call ascension. That word will eventually go away, but you've worked very hard towards your expansion. You've worked very hard towards leaving a lot of the old baggage behind and really moving into the fullness of your sovereignty, the fullness of your divine nature. They were just not willing to go with you yet on a soul level. Now, of course, if you were to ask them, they wouldn't say, well, on a soul level, we just know we have a different trajectory right now. Indeed not. But that's all this is, dear friend. That's all this is. And the pain, the hurt, some of it is being experienced because of the expectations that you placed on the relationships. Now, you all do this. You all place certain expectations on your relationships. Well, you all bargain in your relationships. Well, I will do this, this, and that if you give me this in return. In this case, I will love you no matter what, if you will love me no matter what. You see, there's still a bargain there. How about, dear friend, loving you no matter what? How about, dear friend, you loving you no matter what? Indeed. Indeed. And the pain is also regards of being left out. You have always tried to fit in. You are very lovable. You are very lovable. You are very likable. You are very fun to be around. You are very deep. But right now, it is just not a vibrational match. That is all, dear friend. You have done nothing wrong. They have done nothing wrong. If anything, you have all done everything right, and that you're allowing. And that they are allowing for your journey, and you, more importantly, are allowing for your journey. And they too are allowing for theirs. Dear friend, can you allow for theirs as well? And we will leave you with that to chew on a bit. Going back to the collective of humanity, the things are heating up in the collective. We have spoken to a small private group, and we have spoken about the polarity, where things on the planet, doesn't seem to be any black and white. There doesn't seem to be any gray areas. Everything is black and white. You are either for this, and if you are for this, that means you are automatically against that. If you are against that, then that means that you are automatically for this. You are seeing it in every area of human existence right now. You're seeing the polarity, you're seeing the ends being stretched. You are seeing everything coming to a breaking point. Now, you're really coming up to it quickly, or the calendar date is moving up to you very quickly, and the energies, and therefore the energies as well, of your of your September. Your September, you're going to see things really heat up as children start going back to school, or even towards the end of this month of your August, children going back to school, people going back to work full time, or wanting to go back to work full time, and perhaps because they are not having the papers to show their vaccinations, and that there's a lot of restrictions being placed here on the planet. But what we're really wanting you to look at, dear friends, is not so much seeing this as restrictions, but allowing yourselves to see this as an opportunity now to move beyond the judgments, to really move beyond the polarity. What is happening here, especially with the vaccination, but it is happening in so many different areas, again, of human daily life, and collective human daily life, and collective human experience, where there's this pulling of opposites. There's no middle ground. So what we would ask all of you to do, dear friends, is to really try to take more of a middle ground. You are each sovereign beings. You are each, how can we say, you are each entitled and have the divine right to make whatever choices you're wanting to express in your physical life. But we would ask you to stay out of the judgment, that if you choose to do something and another human or other humans choose not to, stay out of the judgment, because they are also exercising their divine sovereign right, you see. Or for those of you who are not going to do something, and looking and say, well, why are they not doing it? Why are they not doing it too? Why are they doing it? They should be following my example. They should be following what I'm doing. They're right. I'm right. They're wrong. Dear friends, we're really wanting you to get out of this right and this wrong, this judging of things right and things wrong. Many of the collective messages on the planet are fear-based. They are there to divide and conquer. You will see things heating up in this way. We're not saying this for you to go into any sort of fear, but what we're wanting you to do is really pay attention to you, to see where you go into polarity. you see, to see where you go into it. Yes, again, we will repeat, you have the sovereign right to make a decision, any decision really for your life. You have a sovereign divine being with free will, well, to a certain degree, but that is another discussion. But free will here on the planet. Mm-hmm. Having the right to choose, to decide, to make your decisions. Can you extend that same right to the human who stands next to you and chooses differently? That is the question. That is the question. So stop playing into the duality. The duality is nothing more than the expression of the polarity. Polarity starts in the mind. You start forming your judgments of what is right and what is wrong. It's either black or it's white. No gray, all black and white. And then the duality moves in, and that is an expression of the emotion behind that. You get very emotional about it. And then you start to take action in the way of perhaps wagging fingers, posting on your social media, getting right in someone's face, holding placards up in protest against the ones who you think are wrong. Get out of the polarity. Stay out of the duality. Stay in your own balance and in your own center and in your own sovereignty. And allow each human on the planet to stand in theirs as well. And with that, dear friends, we wish you a very good day. Okay, then. I guess they told us. Okay, thank you, everybody. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them. You can drop them in the comments section. And I hope you're all having a lovely day. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to next week's Why, What, Who Wednesday. Thank you. Mwah. Stacy out.